What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Holy shit, your boy got a cut. I'm fucking bald now. Look, you guys can actually see my neck. But in today's video, of course, we're gonna be talking about, once again, the 350Z. Here she is in her beautiful glory, sitting in my front yard like always. But today, we are gonna be talking about why I personally think the 350Z is one of the best budget sports cars that you can get into today in 2024. Or probably even later on in the future, but who knows. But let me take you guys out to a spot real quick, and then we'll talk about why I think this right here is the best sports car you can get into. But let's start off with the cold start. Never gets old. Tomei, baby. Yeah, I really love the Tomei, but that's enough talking. Let's head out to the spot and tell you guys why this baby right here is the best sports car that you can get yourself into. All right, so for the first reason why I think this is the best budget sports car is because of this right here. So much traffic ahead of us. But the first reason why I think this is the best budget sports car is because of the performance and the driving experience. So this is a rear wheel drive. Holy shit, I cannot talk. So this is a rear wheel drive sports car, and it was made in the early 2000s. And in my personal opinion, I think that is literally like peak sports car era. I would say the late 90s to the early 2000s are peak sports car era. And honestly, what do I even mean by that? So, in my opinion, these cars are so fun to drive because these cars are so raw. They're not so old, like let's say like a 240SX or like an older E30 where it's so old where driving experience is kind of uncomfortable. I think late 90s and early 2000s is a sweet spot if you want that raw driving experience with that's still like fun and reliable. And just listen to that. I don't give a so many people hate, oh my gosh, what the fuck? So many people hate on the VQ and how it sounds, but personally, I think it sounds amazing, especially if you do the exhaust right. Driving this car around is honestly so fun. I daily this car and I can do shit like this. Look at that. This is a blast to drive. It sounds amazing. It's rear wheel drive and it has none of that like electronically assisted like driving like newer cars. I drove one of my friend's STI before, and don't get me wrong, that car is fucking fast, but it was just missing its spirit. I felt like there was not enough like characteristics of that car. Although I was driving it and just doing pulls in the middle of the night, we weren't able to take it to any twisties. But I felt like it was missing a soul. These cars right here, especially the 350Z, even though it's produced in the late, what do you call it, like 2003 to 2008, it has that characteristic. You feel the raw power of the car. It's a fucking blast to drive. Not only that, depending on what 350 you get and what year and what motor, either the VQ35DE or the VQ35HR, this right here is 300 horsepower. And for a first sports car, like if it's your first sports car, 300 horsepower is a lot. Like this thing, if you really want, you can swing it around and have fun with it like stock motor. Maybe do a little bit of mods like welding the diffs so you can hold drifts and stuff like that, but it's kind of amazing how much this car can do in its stock form. Pulling up to the spot here, and my last point about performance and driving experience is that this car has so much potential to make power on stock motor. Especially the HR the HR motor, you can make up to 500 wheel horsepower easily on stock internals, which is kind of crazy. But here we are. Let's pull up to the spot right here. Okay, never mind. We're moving spots because I feel like this place is a little too much foot traffic right now. You have a lot of people walking around and a lot of cars driving by, and I can't really just take that spot and have cars like drive around me as I'm recording a video. So to the next spot. Oh yeah, did I also mention that this car right here comes with this right here? It comes with a 6-speed manual transmission. If you are getting into a sports car, in my opinion, you need a manual transmission. It makes the driving experience so much more connected, and you're basically like in so much more control of the car, and you can do shit like this. Like, who doesn't love banging gears? Like, and if it's your first time driving manual, it's not hard, guys. Like, this was my first manual transmission car too. Like, you can probably tell because I suck ass at shifting, but I learned how to drive this car like on my own in like 2 days. So it's so easy. And then the 350Z, another bonus of this car is that it comes with the CD009 transmission. That transmission comes in the 07 to 08 350Z, so whichever car has the HR. That transmission is such a strong and good transmission. It is known to be used in so many high horsepower build cars. Like, it is such a reliable and strong transmission. It's amazing, and it comes in this car stock. So if you do choose to build like a crazy 1000 horsepower fucking 350Z, you can keep this stock transmission. You don't even need to build it or anything. That's how crazy and reliable and strong it is, which I love. All right, just made it out to the next spot. There's even cars over here too. Like, bruh, busy day today, I guess. So my second point that I wanted to talk about is the styling. This car, I feel like, has aged like fine wine. Just look at the body curves. Let me give you guys a walk around. So of course my car is a little modified, so this is not how it's gonna look stock, but even so, this car I think has aged so well. It looks like a true sports car. It has a long hood and a swoopy coupe style short ass. Not to mention the ass is also fat. But yes, honestly, I think this car has the styling is honestly iconic, and it's very timeless. It catches so many people like off guard. I wouldn't say off guard, but it catches so much attention in a good way and in a bad way because just the way it looks. I am lowered. I do have a body kit, like I said, but just look at the beautiful thick arches, the way the car sits and everything. I think it is beautiful. I've had so many people think that this car is a Porsche, which I kind of can see it because of the body, but of course with the headlights you can tell it's not a Porsche, and I don't have a badge in the front. But a lot of people can confuse it as a Porsche, which, you know, says something about the styling of this car. With the wing and everything, it's so beautiful. Just look at that. And with the styling too, if you don't like how it looks stock, or if you don't like how it looks right now with like how I modded my car, I'm moving on to my next point. It has so much aftermarket support. There is so much customization that you can do with this car, which is a plus. There is so much aftermarket support on this car. You can literally change out everything in this car. Hoods, fenders, headlights, bumper, wheels, fucking doors. If you want carbon fiber doors, you can get carbon fiber doors, wing, rear bumper. The support is honestly endless for this car. What is also a bonus about it is that it could be cheap or expensive depending on the route you go. You can go out there and get replica parts. Gosh, yeah, sure, go ahead. If you want a penny pinch, you can get replica parts if you're willing to work a little harder to make those parts fit. But there's also, you know, real parts. There's companies like, you know, Origin Lab, Vertex out there that makes parts for this car. Nismo, you can get Nismo parts. This is a replica Nismo front bumper, but there's so much that you can do. not only in terms of styling can you customize this car, you can also go with performance customization. There's so many brands of coilovers out there, from expensive all the way from like KW, Owens, to something super dirt cheap like fucking, I don't know, Godspeed. What else? You can also touch the exhaust. Everything on the exhaust is like you can buy your headers, test pipes, fucking Y pipes, catbacks, and everything. They also even make replica exhaust parts if you really want. Like the previous exhaust I had was a replica of the HKS exhaust, which the real one is like $1,000, but the eBay one is like $200 and you can get that. It's crazy how much support these cars have and what you can do with these cars. Honestly, the aftermarket support is absolutely incredible. Oh yeah, did I mention all of the customization you can also do to the engine? Big power mods, like big single turbos, superchargers, twin turbos, even engine swaps. I know ISR makes a complete engine swap kit, LS engine swap kit for the 350Z. That is honestly so much you can do with this car. Along with all of the aftermarket support, we also have a huge community. People who build this car and know so much about this car. Like, let's be honest, this platform is almost 30 years old now, and there's so much knowledge out there. So many YouTube videos out there for you to do everything yourself. And it's fairly easy to work on. Like, okay, you might not have that much engine space, but to be honest, everything is pretty easy to do on this car. It's not like a newer BMW where you unplug one thing and then boom, now you need a new ECU because all the electronics are like fucked up now. And with the community, you have so many people out there doing different things with the Z. There's so many different options that you can do with this car. Either you can go stance, like there's a lot of people out there who love to slam and camber the fuck out of the car. There's people who like to do engine swaps, like, you know, Mike, if you guys know who he is. He has a LS swapped 350Z. People like Fresh Kicks, who has like an 800 horsepower 350Z. There's so many things you can do. Drift, grip, fucking stance, anything, even autocross. I've seen some autocross builds out there, but there's so many things that you can do in this car, which I love. If you're not into like the performance side, fucking slam the fuck out of the car, add some big tilt on it, ride it down the street, scrape on everything. You can do it. All right, enough about that. Now moving on to point number 4. My 4th point is gonna be that it is so cheap to get into this platform. So to get into a Z, I'd say it probably costs like $8,000 to $12,000, depending on what motor you get, either the DE, the Rev Up, or the HR, to like 12K. I'd say 12K tops. There are some out there that are very clean example, low miles, but you know, those are like the outliers. This is like a 20-year-old car. You're gonna be on Facebook Marketplace. It's gonna be hard to find one of those fucking like 20,000 miles, unless you go bring a trailer or something. But even so, this car is not that expensive to get your hands on. Also, they made like 1 million of these, so there's so many out there right now. A lot of people are crashing them and everything, which might increase the value, but there's so many out there. There's so many examples out there that if you keep looking and if you're patient, you can find the one that you like. I was looking for an HR for a while, for a clean one, and I got this right here. So this car is a 08 HR. It was owned by another person, and it had 120,000 miles on it, which is not a lot, I would say, for the VQs, because they're known to like last forever. But I got this car for 9K. That's so cheap, and it's an HR. I've seen so many fucking listings out there that people want like 12K for the HR, and it has like 130,000 miles. Guys, be patient and just wait. You can find a clean example of these, and they're super cheap. I believe that honestly the price has already bottomed out for these cars, so this is the cheapest it's gonna get. So you should probably get your hands on one now before more people crash them, more people like clap them out, because the price will only increase after that. And for the last and final point that I have for this car is the reliability. The VQ platform is very reliable. There's so many examples out there that go up to 20 or 200,000 miles and they're still running strong and fine. Of course, because this is like a 20-year-old platform, there's gonna be some problems with the car. The HR are known to have gallery gasket problems. DEs are known to burn oil, but like, it's a 20-year-old car. What are you expecting? Like, you can't be getting your hands on a 20-year-old car and expect it to be perfect. But the good thing is that like again, the aftermarket and the community support is so big. If something goes wrong with the car, parts are cheap. You can get yourself some, like a new radiator for cheap. You can get, honestly, even the motors are cheap. DEs are like $1,000, and then HRs, I don't know, I'd say like 2.5 ish, which is super cheap compared to like a K series. K series and LSs are like blowing up in prices. Like if you're in a rotary, if you have to replace a rotary, that's gonna be expensive as balls. But a VQ, there's so many everywhere because they're made in SUVs and everything. The VQ also doesn't have that many major problems. The HR, I know, mainly only has gallery gasket issues, and like that's basically it. Just get your gallery gasket done. The clutch slave cylinder too is also known to go bad, but those are the two main problems that you have to worry about. Everything else is just, you know, do your maintenance, check your oil level, top off if you need to, and this car will literally last forever. And for all those people who say that we burn oil and our engines are gonna explode, fuck you. Those are the people who don't take care of their shit and never check, okay? Don't fucking include them with us people who actually care about our cars. But yeah, honestly, that's basically the 5 points that I have for you guys. This car is such an amazing car if you're gonna get into your first sports car, especially if it's a project car too. This car can teach you so much. It is easy to work on, and it's so cheap to get into. If you really want to get even more like performance and like, you know, a better driving experience, you can step up to the 370Z. If you want more luxury options, you can go into the Infinity line, the G35, the G37s, but I think the 350Z is the sweet spot. You have the performance, you have the styling, and you have the price. It's so cheap. 370Zs, you're gonna be looking at like 16K, 15K, so like let's say 3K more. But if you want to save for it, go ahead. But if you're like me and you're fucking broke, the 350Z, man. But that is basically gonna be it for today's video. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you guys get yourself a 350Z, because honestly, this is such an amazing platform and it's a great car to start off on. I'm so glad that I was able to get my hands on one, and this is the build that we are working on this channel. So if you guys like what you're seeing, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow along in our journey because I have so much more planned for this 350Z. But that is basically it for today's video. I appreciate you guys tuning in, all the subscribers and that come back in, comment on the videos. I love you guys. I hope you guys come back for the next video, and I will see you guys next time. Later, boys.